Hi, let's start with the demo of the construction management. Project management is the first part of the construction management thing, and in the project management, we'll be completely covering the costing of the project, the BOQs, and then the actual how we are monitoring the progress of the project. Let's start with the flow of the project management. Initially, we'll be defining the project along with its various phases and sub-phases. Like I told you, let's say suppose there is a residential project with an apartment things. We have got multiple towers or blocks for this. So we can have a block or a tower as a phase, and then we can have multiple sub phases. Like it could be floors, and then we come down to a lower sub phase, which could be the flat or the unit. Now, with each subphase, we'll be simply attaching a work template. Now, how we are getting to the work template? Before the work template, we'll be defining all those works. Works would be defined with the POQ of the work. Like for standard coefficient of the work, as I told you about the brickwork, what is the material required for the brickwork, the labor required, and equipment required for any particular work in a standard unit. Let's say for a 1 cubic meter of the particular unit. So here we have defined the BOQ of a particular coefficient of the work, and then when we define what are the different types of works, the works with the work quantities. So this will give me a complete work template for a particular subphase. Let's say for a 2 BHK flat, how many number of the works and along with the work quantity would be required. So this will give me complete BOQ of this particular subphase, and then as and when we attach the templates to the other phases, we can get the complete BOQ of any phase. It could be work category wise, work wise, costing wise. We can get the complete estimate and even the work estimate. Fine. The second part is my progress monitoring. Even in the progress monitoring, we have defined it very simply. Like the first phase is my defining of a monthly planning. Suppose I have to complete the project in 3 years, then we can define it into 36 months. So we will be defining what all are the works to be performed in, let's say, first month. So if I am defining the work with the phase and the quantity of the work done, the system will automatically from the BOQ itself will give me the material and labor requirement. Now this material requirement would be used for my purchasing planning. So whenever we are planning for the material things, how much material to be purchased for a particular work, it would be derived from this monthly planning. After the monthly planning, from the monthly planning data itself, we can find out what is my daily planning. Daily planning means, let's say, what is the total target for the month, and out of which how much we have already covered, and then what is my plan for the next day. Again, similarly to the month planning, we'll be defining the work. The system will give me the material and labor requirement against the work, and then I can go with the daily progress reporting. Once the work is done, at the end of the day, I will be reporting how much actual work is being done, how much is the actual material consumed, how much labor consumed. Now here, this is very important to find out the variation between the BOQ versus the actuals. Let's say for a particular work, I have, as per the BOQ, I was supposed to use 10 bags of cement. Then when we define the progress, we'll be defining it. It would be again linked with my material inventory thing. So whenever a contractor or an engineer is issued material for a particular work, for a daily work thing, so he can define what is the quantity he has used against each work for the each phase. This way I can give you the complete variation right from the BOQ or from the inventory level. Then similarly we can find out what was the labor requirement as per the BOQ and what is the actual labor being used. This will give me the complete planning for the project. Then we can find out the variance and the progress reports. Now this variance is very important, because if we have let's say 10 bags of cement was required, and if the contractor has used 9 or 11, both the scenarios are critical for us. We don't want any compromise on quality, and we don't want any wastage of material or pilferage of the material. Now, this module is basically used for the accurate budget analysis. Like we can find out costing of the project, progress of the project at any given stage. Phases and sub-phases would be defined. We have item labor equipment coefficients, all estimates done, project plannings, monthly planning, and daily progress monitoring. Like this is how the project workflow is. It is divided into various masters, transactions, and reports. I'll take you one by one. Okay, now first this is the dashboard of the construction management. This would be again done by project basis and on the time period basis. On the right hand side here, this is the time period. By default, it would be current month. But again, you can choose any given period if you want to analyze data accordingly. This is a valuation of the things as per the last purchase rate. This is my opening stock valuation as on the given start date of January 1st, 2017. Then between this date and the January 31st, 2019, what is the this valuation of the material received? Then this is the valuation of the material being issued. And this is my closing stock valuation. Further, I have got what is the purchase orders I have given, what is the valuation of the purchase orders, vendors payment, and then the contractor bills. Next we have is various drill down options like items below the order level, purchase order spendings, invoices spendings, payment spending, contractor bills. I tell you like whenever we define an item, we can define a reorder level for each item. Like this is the level where if the stock of this item goes below this level, we have to just go for the reorder thing. That would be again defined as per the consumption of the material and the number of days we expect to receive the material. Now, PO pendings means all those POs which have been generated but we have not received the material completely as per the PO quantity. Similarly, all the invoices pending, payments pending, and contractual spending I can get from this screen itself. I can simply click on this and it will show me all those details. Now, there are a few line charts which are very important here. So here we have given you an option to choose the items yourself. You can choose any related items. Like here we have selected MS bar 10 mm, 12 mm, 16 mm. These three items you have selected. So this bar graph, this line graph is showing me the purchase rate of these items at various phases, depending upon the time we have selected here. So what is the up and down of the rates for this material? And the second line chart is for the stock. I can choose any item and I can check the stock variation of this item at any given period. Now, this is how we are going to define the project masters. Initially, we are defining the project name, company name, contact persons, my terms for the purchase orders, terms for the contract terms, GST applicable, other things. Now, this is how, as I told you, phases and subphases, the project hierarchy. Like say for the phase one, these are my various blocks and these are my houses. This is a duplex house project. So we have got phase one, then Lotus is a block, and then A1 is my house. Similarly, I can define any number of things. And then here we have got on the right hand side, these are work templates. I have selected A1 template and linked it with the A1 unit. So whenever I can define, we have a different sizes, any variation, we can have a different work template and attach it to the particular unit. So with this, I can get a complete POQ of the things. Now, this is how we start with the work coefficients. So let's say for this particular brickwork thing, this is defined for 100 cubic foot. These are the items required. Let's say brick, cement, fine sand, coarse sand. Let's say for 100, as per this thing, for 100 cubic foot of thing, these are the 1400 bricks is required. This is my current rate and this is the total amount. As for this, 5 bags of cement, fine sand, coarse sand. Then similarly for the labor, again for the 100 cubic foot of unit, which is the standard thing, I require 2 mason, 1 belda, 2 coolie. These are the rates defined. This will give me the rates with material and labor rate for this particular work. Now with this, I can give you the complete BOQ summary for any particular phase selected for the works. I can select the phase, select the works, their work categories, unit, quantity, rate, amount. Even we can have this summary into multiple various combinations. If you want to have a combination for want to find out the costing of a template or maybe a particular work category or particular phase or particular work. Now this is with details of the phases. Which phase, which work, what is the work template name, work category, unit, rate, quantity, amount. And here also we have got the details of all those materials required to complete this work. Again, coming from the BOQ thing. Now we are defining the monthly work planning. Again, just we have to define the month and we are picking up the phases and the work with the quantity. This will give me the complete cost of the monthly work. Now here also I can see the complete labor summary, material summary and the work summary. So this will give me the complete summary of all those material required, labor required, and the work wise summary. Next, similar to this, I come to my daily work planning and daily work progress thing. This is my daily work planning, similar to monthly work planning. And then actual work progress. Here, this is a bit more detailed. What is the phase number? What is the work? Which contractor has been attended to it? What is the staff? What was the BOQ quantity? And total progress quantity done so far. Balance quantity, planned quantity for the day. What is the actual consumed quantity or affected quantity for this date? What was the rate? Amount. Now here also we have got two different things where we can find out what is my actual consumption of the material. This is the planned quantity, consumed quantity, and the rate. Similarly for the labor and for the works, I can have different details. Plus I can have a complete measurement sheet here itself. With a measurement sheet, whenever I will be generating my bills for the contractors and even for my own tender bills, so this measurement can be incorporated into those bills. You can get any combination of reports, like this is one of the work done report for any given phase or a particular work. Balance work estimates, again, it will give you the work, BOQ quantity, rate, work done quantity, balance work, and then again, revised estimate amount. So whenever there is a change in any variation, there is any variation in the rate of material or labor as per the last purchase rate, the system will give you a revised estimate. As per the current date, what is the revised estimate for the entire project or for this particular things to be selected. Even if you want, you can mark some phases complete in between as well if the work is remaining is too less. Okay, now I come to the contractor management part, which is my second module into this. Here we are going to deal with the entire transactions, entire work progress, and the billing of the contractors. To start with, we'll be defining a contractors. With the contractor, we'll be defining a contract. Now, this is very important. Like for the contract, which phases and sub phases I am giving the contract for? What are the various works I have given this contractor work for? And that is it going to be with material or without material, or it could be even partial things. Now also all my contract terms, advances, retention, miscellaneous, GST, hold amount, TDS amount. And there's one more thing, the contract could be normally made into two different things. One is as per the measurement, or it could be as per the payment schedule wise. Any milestone achieved and then you want to clear the payment depending upon the milestones achievement. Then from the daily progress itself, we can have a contractor bill. If you are not updating the daily progress, you can even update the progress here itself. So whenever you're generating contractor bill, it will be, you can have more additions to it, secure advance, GST if you want to add. And then all the deductions. For any previous advance given, you want to deduct any of those advance amount, then any retention amount, hold amount, material advances, miscellaneous TDS. Then after this, there would be contractor payment. When we take about contractor payment, we will be taking care of all those debit note, credit notes, my secured advance, TDS and all the things. So the point is, all those transactions which pertaining to a contractor, to a contract would be attended here. And it would be very, very simple if we are going for the process. So there cannot be an overbilling of anything, because we have already defined the BOQ, we have already defined the quantities in the contract itself. So this will be handling all my advances, deductions, all my payment to the contractors, the debit note, credit notes. Now this is the contractor workflow, again the masters of the contractor, transactions. Now one more thing is there, when we are going for the contract thing, we can even go for a complete selection of the contract process as well. So we can have a work request, then quotation request, work quotation, and then comparison of the quotation. Then we can go for the contracts, credit note, credit bill, contractor bills, debit notes and payments. And then we have multiple reports for this. Okay, we start with the work request. We'll be defining a date particular, and then who is giving the request for, let's say, for any particular. These are the requests. This can be also be initiated from my monthly planning. Then based on multiple, we can go to quotation request to various contractors, and then their quotations, and then this is the comparison. So it will be highlighting the minimum rate for the contract. Based on this, we'll be giving a work contract to the contractor. Again, this is very important document. Like whenever we are giving a work order or a work contract, we'll be defining all the phases, the works, quantities. Again, that would definitely be linked with the BOQ, so that all the details would be coming from the BOQ itself. Now, this is one of the formats for the work contract print where basic information of the contractor is there. What is the phase, what is the work to be done, rate, quantity, amount, any terms with this, retention amount, TDS amount, what is the payment schedule. So all those things would be totally transparently available here. Now, once a contract is being awarded, if you want to give some advance payment to a contractor against each contract, I can give him a cash advance, secured advance, material advance, and everything would be automatically recorded. So every time we make a bill or every time we make a credit debit note, these things would be already there. Next, based on this daily progress, we are generating contractor bill. Again, which phase, which work, quantity as per the contract, received quantity so far, balance quantity, billed quantity in this particular bill, what is the rate, amount, any discounts, hold amount, percentage lifting charges, then gross amount. Now this is one of the formats for the contractor bill print. Information of the contractor, period of work, date. This is the abstract thing. Phase, work, last bill quantity, this bill quantity, up to date quantity, rate and amount. Then total amount, retention, TDS, automatically generated. Plus on the second page, we have got already billed for this contract. These are the two bills generated for this contract. For this is dates and this is amount. And then the complete measurement sheet, length, breadth, height and numbers. So this measurement sheet would automatically be reflected in every bill. Contractor bill reports. You can find out for a particular contractor, for a particular contract, how many bills generated, what was the status, amount before this deduction, before, after deduction, tax amount, net amount. Contractor statements for any contractor, hold, retention amount, contractor's ledgers, all debit credit entries, when was the bill generated, when was the credit note generated, when was the payment made. So that was all about the contract. Now I'm moving on to the third module, which is my procurement or the purchase module. We start again with the flow of it. We're starting here with the purchase requirement analysis. As I told you earlier, my information for this would be coming from my monthly planning thing. With the monthly planning, I can find out what is my requirement of materials for various categories for this particular month. Plus, I have got stock in hand coming from the store itself. I have got all my pending indents which has been raised by various contractors to the store, but which has not yet been issued. Any pending purchase orders, reorder levels. Based on this, the system will automatically give you the requirement analysis. What is the material quantity of various materials required to perform the works smoothly and efficiently. From this, I can go for the purchase request. Purchase request, then we can go for the request for quotation to vendors. This can be generated automatically to various vendors through email, SMS, and even you can have a printouts. So when we are receiving the updates of the vendor quotations, then the quotations would be compared and a purchase order would be generated based on the comparisons. So in the comparison itself, you can find out what is my minimum rates for each item against each vendor. So once a PO is generated, it will be having all those terms of payment terms, taxation, freight and other terms. PO is being given to the vendor, we are receiving the material, a GRN is being generated, there is a process of quality check for each item. Once it is approved, the stock would be updated. If it is rejected, it would be sent back to the vendor. And then when we are receiving the invoices of the material from the vendors, it would be matched from the GRN only. When whatever material has been actually received in the GRN after the rejection, we can generate the bills only for those items. The cost of the material would be picked up from the purchase order itself. Then any debit credit notes, taxation, it would be handled, and then we can make a payment of the purchase bill. Now, again, this is a very important module to handle all my materials. So we'll be defining all the materials here with groups, manufacturer, batch, expiry, reorder. We can have high value items or general items. We can define those things. Then also we are having 2 units for each unit. We can define, like say there are so many materials like cement, we generate purchase orders in, let's say, metric ton. And when you issue the material, we are issuing it in bag. Similarly, we can have 2 units for any of the units, and the stock will be maintained in both the units at every place. Purchase requirement analysis, I told you. Then vendors, you can have a complete detailed definition of the vendors with their item groups, which all items they are dealing into or which items. Then complete quotation to vendors, purchase request, item wise GST number and all those things. This is my purchase workflow, all those masters, transactions, and then the reports. Okay, this is my screenshot for the purchase requirement analysis. We start with this. We have to define the date. The system will show me all those items required as per the monthly planning thing. Item, manufacturer, item group, purchase unit, issue unit, planned quantity, purchase request, if you have any request for this material in this period, pending indent quantity, reorder level, stock in hand, total required quantity in issue unit and purchase unit, any other purchase request pending, total purchase order quantity so far, material received against those purchase orders, and then the pending PO. This will automatically give me the net requirement. This is something we have designed very meticulously. So the system will automatically give you, based on all these parameters, what is the required thing. So I can simply select the items and go for the purchase request. So automatically I can generate purchase request from here, or then I can go for the quotation request to various vendors. So whenever you're generating it, the system will give you complete details, material, manufacturer, unit, stock in hand, requested quantity, what is the difference, delivery date expected and all. Now, this is an important thing, quotation comparisons. Here you can see we have compared 5 quotations from various vendors. These are the items required, then against each item is highlighted. So the lowest rate against each item is highlighted. So the system can automatically generate purchase orders against only the lowest items only. So that way you don't have to go for any confusion, and then the system will always give you the lowest rate in comparisons. So these are the different items. You can have different rates from different vendors. So I can go for the lowest rate from each vendor. Even after that, whenever we're generating a purchase order, I can see my last 10 purchases for this particular item. So here I show you bill number, date, vendor, quantity, rate, discount, gross amount, whatever. A format for the purchase order. Dear Mr. So-and-so, these are the items we are going to purchase. These are the rates, discount, taxation, tax amount, anti-tax amount, GST, CGST, SGST, freight. Now, one more important thing is there when we are defining the vendor. So the system will automatically be defining whether it's a state vendor or it's an outer state vendor. So it will automatically be bifurcating the tax. If it is an outer state, it will be bifurcating into IGST, and if it is within the state, it will be CGST and SGST. Now, all other terms can be picked from the masters, and then it can be updated. So whenever we're generating this purchase order, also there is a mention of quotation number and quotation date. So after this thing, whenever we are receiving material, a GRN is being generated, stock would be updated after GRN, purchase invoices, any material returned after the invoice can also be made as a purchase return, vendors payments after credit notes and debit notes. Like this is the format for the GRN. Whenever we are generating a GRN, it would be totally linked with the purchase order. So what is the ordered quantity in purchase order, how much we've already received, what is the balance quantity, this billed quantity, issue quantity, free quantity, rate. So whenever you're generating it, there's always reference of purchase orders and the purchase request number. So you can always track it back. Why is this material required? And then we can never receive any material which is more than my purchase order. So in some cases, we can have an item tolerance. Let's say for the transport thing and other things, we can give a tolerance for certain percentage. But otherwise, let's say if we are given 1,000 quantity, so the system will not allow to receive more than 1,000 at any condition. In case we want it, we have to update the purchase order or make a new purchase order. Along with this, whenever we're generating an invoice, the system will pick me all my GRNs, all my purchase order details and the purchase request number. So it would be all tracked one by one. Purchase invoice print, if you want to print, complete details of the items, quantity, rate, amount, discount, gross amount, taxation, PO number, GRN number, everything would be there. Next, we move on to inventory management part of it. Again, in the inventory management, once we receive a material from the GRN from a vendor, there would be indent from either departments or contractors, or it could be indent from other projects. So in case of contractors, which is most of the cases, we'll be comparing it with the work order. The system will show you what was the total work order quantity, in particular this work and this phase, how much we have already issued and what is balance to be remaining to be issued. So the system will never allow any indent more than the quantity defined in the contract and the BOQ. So once we are issuing the material to the departments, contractors and issue project, and then we can even receive the material back in case of any excessive material or any rejected material. Similarly, in case of other projects, if you are issuing the material, the other project would be receiving the material so that their stock would be updated. This is my complete workflow for this thing. Indent from contractors, phases, item, BOQ quantity, already indented, balance, stock quantity, quantity to be indented. Format for the indents, details of the material, contractors, info, and departments, issue to departments. Again, it would be against the indented quantity, what is the stock balance and how much are we issuing it. Then we have got any number of combination of reports. This is like one of the reports I'm showing you where you can choose the columns. So you can simply choose the columns. You can play with the reports as a pivot reports. As I told you earlier, you can filter the reports. You can move the columns. Stock ledger reports for any given item, any given period. Stock in hand. Stock valuation in multiple combination of reports. Next, I come to the financial accounting or the expense part of it. In this module, we are defining various cost heads and cost categories. So you can generate your expenses, you can update your expenses, all those payments, or maybe you can make a JVs. And with this, all those debit credit entries of the JVs would be there. Then it would be totally integrated with the tally. So whenever we give a date, and it would be, we will be defining each and every ledger linked with the tally so that all those entries would be posted to tally. You can even see some certain reports in the system itself, like ledger reports, so that can be easily available to your things. Thank you for this contractor part of it.